Hi, my name is Lily from Moreno y Vino, and one of my friends just had a very interesting request. She wanted me to knit an ugly scarf. She's in a play, and her character has just learned to knit. And this was kind of interesting for me because I've been knitting daily for 20 years now. And so I was like, okay, how do I do this? I roughly remember how my first scarf turned out, although it's since been lost, unfortunately. And I am a teacher, so I did pass it around to my students, to my daughter, to my friends who don't know how to knit. So I did get some authentic mistakes. And she also wanted me to dye ugly yarn or use ugly yarn, but since I'm a dyer, I dyed it. Although my students actually really like the color. She wanted it like a yellow and brown. So, well, that's just the tail, which I should, I guess, weave in, although maybe I don't weave it in well. So this is like the beginning part because I figured you would only cast on a few stitches. Sorry, with my background, maybe if it's near my face, you can see it. And then it gets thicker. You can see I put in holes. I did some elongated stitches. But what was really cool about this project is it gave me the opportunity to practice like cable stitches without a cable needle or um, there's like the butterfly stitch where you slip stitches with the yarn in front and then a few rows later you like pick it up. I didn't quite get it the way I wanted to, unfortunately. Or there's the wrap stitches that I learned from Yumi Yarns. And so I remember reading an Instagram post and you can kind of see there were some mistakes that students made that I'm like, I have no idea how you did that. Let's see. But you can just kind of see as it goes on. And I tried to get a little bit better as you go on because I feel like every beginning knitter gets better. And I'm sure for most beginning knitters, like this is even worse. But yeah, it should get better as you go on. And I'm almost done, which is very exciting. And I think my students will be excited to see it. Um, but yeah, I remember also seeing on Instagram, Patty Lyons once said that the mistakes in your initial knitting projects aren't actually mistakes. They're just techniques you don't know yet. And so like one thing I did when I was practicing cabling without a cable needle is like, what if I don't put them back on the needle in order? What if I like do a weird order? And of course, because this is just the Kitchener stitch or just the knit stitches, it's a little harder to see the definitions. But what I ended up really liking about this project, as ugly as it is it gave me the opportunity to play again and not worry like what happens if I drop a stitch? How could I pick it up? Or if I don't pick it up and just ladder down, like when will it stop? And if it doesn't stop, how can I pick it up? Or how can I make it pretty or not? Do I want to make it pretty? So it just kind of gave me that freedom. And I hope to eventually get a knitting community up here and I would like to do like one day where we all just bring some scrap yarn that we have laying around. You know, we all have those partially used balls from projects that we didn't need all the yarn for, where we just start, you know, getting a square in stockinette stitch or something. And then we just start experimenting and there's no struggle. Like we write down, okay, on this row, we made this thing. And then we can read the pattern or read the, not the pattern, read the fabric and see what does that look like. And I think if you're a budding designer, although I'm not a budding designer, so what do I know? But I think if you are a budding designer, this could be really cool, especially if you're like a Stephen West wannabe. I mean, and he has really cool designs. That could give you the freedom to come up with those really cool and intricate and unique designs that we never would think to do in knitting. So that was really cool. And yeah, so I'm not sorry that I made this really ugly scarf. I think it was kind of a cool experience. It went really fast. I used thick needles and worsted weight yarn. And I think my students really liked it too because a lot of them want to learn how to knit, but they don't want to like mess up my project or something, which is great. And it made me think maybe I should have like a classroom project going with just some yarn. And it is a stress reliever. And it was great to see boys and girls and everyone just working on it. So I encourage you guys to try to make not like a necessarily an ugly scarf, but an ugly swatch and tell me in the comments below or follow me on Instagram and just post a picture of like how it came out and what skills or techniques you learned and you'll see it's not so scary. Now, fixing said mistakes is scary. And I've seen pictures and videos of how people fix cabling mistakes, which, oh my goodness, that just looks like magic. Like that and steeking, I'm like, okay, I don't know how you do it. So yeah, let me know in the comments below what you think about it and how far along you are in your knitting career or your knitting hobby. So have a great week, everyone.